What's up guys, and we're back at it again. So I have to apologise for my previous video on this. I had intended to spend about 6 days here. Unfortunately the Jeep overran, so ended up spending 3 days on that instead of 2. My second day, well, my first day working on this, we just had a horrendous day of weather. I then had something personal that came up, so I had to go back home again to take care of that. So ended up we only really got one day done on this, so it was basically just covered doors, bracket up there, and something else, I forget what it was now, but hopefully this week we'll get a bit more done. But you may have noticed that I've started tiling this back wall. Now this one is actually fixed. That one over there is just sat in place for the moment. But yeah, I'm just getting him lined up and roughly where he's going to go, and then I'll get him stuck down next, and then I'm just going to work my way up this back wall. So it is a vinyl tile. I was going to go with ceramic, but the heavy, vibrations and all of that can cause them to break off, and so I just decided, you know what, I saw these, reasonable price, I'll put a link in the description below, and they just work. So yeah, here they are. I may also, instead of painting the refrigerator door, I might actually use them on the door as well, and possibly in a few other locations. Don't know yet, but I'm just going to work my way across here and then just take it from there. So yeah, let's get on with it. Oh, I did mention the curtain rail. I have tried everywhere. I've been to a couple of caravan places. They said, oh yeah, we remember those, but yeah, don't sell the hooks for them anymore. The company that originally made this rail was called Swish, and hugely popular back in the 70s and 80s. I mean, every time you saw any sort of curtain rail or anything like that, it was usually made by Swish. Unfortunately, this one, nobody seems to make any hooks for it anymore, so I'm going to have to source something else. Right now I don't know what that is, but yeah, I'll keep you updated on that, obviously. Anyway, let's get on with this. Let's get these tiles on, and then I can get the trim and everything on, and we're nearly there. This visit anyway, absolutely want to get the interior here finished, get the van, get the rest of the wiring done, get all the components put together for there's a charger and what have you, a few other bits and pieces to go in here. Do have an amp to go in the front. I am doing a separate video on that. Not sure when that will be out, but anyway, that's enough for now. Let's get on with it. Ah, she's looking okay there. She's got the pieces to cut for that corner. But yeah, that is looking pretty damn good, even though I say it myself. Well, I think that looks pretty good. It's better than the white. I was not overly, I wouldn't say I was 100% happy with the white, but this, yeah, this I'm happy with. So the only other thing I've got to do is I've got a strip light to go underneath so it'll illuminate this bench. Probably put a switch under here somewhere, I'm not entirely sure where, probably on there somewhere. But yeah, and the cable will come down in this corner. I've got some trim to go down there, but it's got enough space to allow cable to run down, so yeah, not bad at all. Well, this has been an interesting time. Well, quite honestly, the beginning of this video was shot just over 3 weeks ago, and yeah, if you saw the Jeep videos, then you know I was just quite unwell, so I did head off home. I was doing bits on this in between doing stuff on the Jeep. So Jeep is just about finished now, and really all I've got left to do on this is just get this interior finished. So yeah, rest of this video is just going to be me working in the interior. I think I said I was going to do a separate video on the interior wiring, finishing that up. That'll probably still happen. I'll probably still do that as a separate video, but right now it's just fitting bits and pieces, bits of trim, figuring out where stuff's going to go. So at the moment it's just basically fit and finish. One thing I am really thinking about doing though is this countertop has it dried. I quite liked it, but over time as the varnish is cured, it's taken on a very red hue that I'm not, I'll never see that again, that I'm not 100% fond of. So there may be some sanding going on in here, and I may refinish it again. I'm not sure yet. That is definitely a possibility. But yeah, so here we are. I'm just trying to catch up on what I was actually doing in here. I think I was doing this backsplash. So yeah. Oh, still got that vent to put in for the stove. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so had to dive inside there for a few minutes because it started raining. Imagine that. Anyway, I'll pull everything back out again and we'll get back on with it. So yeah, it's having moments of deja vu. I thought 3 weeks on we would have been having a little bit more stable weather, but obviously we're not. So first things first, it is a bit cold at the moment, so I was going to do the fridge door. I think I said earlier on at some point that I was going to use this material that I'd used on the backsplash on the actual door itself, but I think it's just too cold to get it to stick right now. So what I'm going to do is go concentrate on the door panel for the sliding door. So I've actually got two of these. So this one's the wrong colour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one to actually make some of the initial cuts on and everything, and just try it out, get it figured out, and then switch to the other door. Yeah, I think that's going to be the best situation, because I have to cut a hole for that handle, and there has to be a thing for that stop down there. So yeah, I think if I work off this panel here to begin with, then any mistakes, you know, I'd rather make a mistake on this than make a mistake on the one that's the right colour, than have to mess about trying to cover it and everything. So yeah, that seems like a reasonable plan. Well, so far so good. Use that door card there as a template, and now I've transferred everything over to here. Locking mechanism for the internal lock will, you can just get it just there. There is a bump stop to go there, so holes are drilled nicely. This is the only area that I've struggled with, because there was actually an ashtray there, and obviously that won't be there in the actual door card itself. That isn't there in the door itself, so and I don't know if I explained this. The only reason I'm doing this is because that is the only panel that I'm missing in the van. I've got all of the others, but do not have the one for the sliding door. So But the next step is I'm going to put a radius on this corner here, and then we'll get all of this folded over and it'll be ready to go on. So yeah, happy days. Well, it's looking okay there. Now I've got a piece of trim to make her around there, and she's actually, I need to actually screw her in because she's not screwed in at the moment, but yeah, I mean she's doing the job all right. She looks the part and matches this one on this side quite nicely. Yeah, overall quite happy with this. So got as much of this insulated as I can. Obviously there's mechanisms in here, so I don't want to put insulation around that in case it jams it up. But yeah, another job ticked off the list. So I'll just get this screwed into place and then call it good. Well, there we go. That's installed. Like I say, I've still got to put a trim piece on over here, but I will get that sorted shortly. And yeah, happy with that. So it's wound up, yeah. So it's warmed up quite a bit now, so I think I may as well go ahead and do this door. Get that covered. Is that rain? Huh, it's starting to rain. What a surprise. Anyway, let me get this door covered and yeah, we'll take it from there. I may actually that cupboard door down there because it keeps getting hit and it's getting scratched up, so I don't know, I might actually do that as well, but I don't know yet. That's still open for debate. But let's get this fridge door done first and then we'll take it from there. Yeah, I'll get a few more bits done. Yeah, unfortunately I know this is not the most exciting video, but that's really where we're at. It's all the little pieces like this, and yeah, I know it doesn't make for the most exciting viewing, but yeah, that's what happens when you get to this stage in a project. Once I've got all this done, I am going to get into all the wiring under the cabinets and everything, but that'll be probably a video on its own. But I want all of this done first, and then that just, I can get all this cleared out and then I can just concentrate on that. What I am doing though is I do have a cable that has to go down that edge just there, just in here, which will feed the strip light that goes under this cabinet. So that's what I'm putting in now. Before I do anything else, then that's that done and completed. Well, a few bits more. I've got the cable running up here now. Don't have that piece of trim in just yet. I'm going to put that in a moment. This one that runs along the back here, I'm not putting that in until I've got this countertop refinished, because it does have to come back out again. So I'll leave that for now. I've just stuck it in place. It'll be okay for the minute. But yeah, I need to go and find the switch now. There is a switch to go around about there somewhere. I'll go and find the strip and may as well get that in and get it hooked up. Obviously it won't be connected to the main power supply just yet, but yeah, at least it'll get this top part of the cabinet all sorted out and finished and ready. So I think what I'm going to do next is get into just actually do the plumbing, get the plumbing sorted out, because if you do recall, I did put in that wastewater tank, so I took out the plumbing that I had in. So it's good. It seems to be a good time as any to actually redo it. While I was on though, I did go ahead and put the catches on these doors, because every time I hit them with my arm, they swung open and it was just annoying me. So it was like, you know, just put the catches on and call it good. So I'm going to pop the sink out, I'm going to pop the stove out, and I'm going to run anything through. One thing that, I don't even know if I've mentioned this or not, but the sink will be the very last thing to get completely hooked up, because I do need to get access to the underside of that stove, and it's easier to do that with the sink out. So, but I'm going to route all the piping in first anyway, and get that all sorted out, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so I've basically got the plumbing back in now. Obviously that feeds down into the tank and comes up to here. There's a panel that goes in down here, then this will come, and basically the bottom of the sink is about there. Now, obviously primary water hose, that will also come in at about there. Got sealer on. I don't know if you can see that black sealer down there. I like to put that on these convoluted pipes, these ribbed pipes. I have had them seep before, and rather than having something like that happen, especially here where this enclosure is basically sealed off, I just go ahead and just put some actual pipe sealer on it. Same with this one here, it's all sealed up there, and when I do eventually connect it in here, I'll do the same there, and it just ensures that there are no drips. As like I say, I have had issues with these pipes over a period of time. They kind of work their way loose a little bit, and next thing you know, you've got a drip there that's there for months or even years before you realise it. So anyway, I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to just start working on the actual electrical system for inside these cabinets. Now I am going to do a separate video on that. Yeah, so that's what so I am going to do a separate video on that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the vacuum cleaner in and just vacuum all of this out, and yeah. Okay guys, first off, it is a little bit windy today, so I apologise for any issues with the sound, but anyway, many months ago, way back in the annals of this video series, I switched out the springs on the front end. The original ones, well, let's start at the beginning. If you recall, right back in the beginning, this originally had a petrol engine, a 2-litre overhead cam. Now, the actual diesel van, I did take the front suspension off, but both of the springs were broken on it. So, I elected to use the petrol front end, because I was hoping that it would give a nice suspension drop, which it did, and it just gave a look that I liked. Now, fast forward a few weeks afterwards, after that decision, I realised that the front springs that were in the original petrol van, they were just tired, and the van basically sat on the bump stops just about. I mean, there was like an inch of travel or something. So I got hold of another set of petrol springs, second-hand ones, put them on. They did raise the van about another inch or two, and I was happy with the look. I mean, that's her now, and I like this look. We have a problem though. So what I have been doing is the lane from up here by the main workshops all the way down and out to the main road. I've been driving the van up and down there, mainly to get a little bit of heat in the brakes, just to get oils moving around, splashing around the transmission, the diffs and all of that. And I realised something very quickly. When you hit a pothole, the front suspension is still just too soft and too low, and you bottom out, basically. I mean, there is a few, obviously, I mean, this is not a perfectly smooth road, and there are some deep ruts on this gravel track, but she hits the bump stops, and that's unacceptable. I mean, the roads in this country, so most of them are actually not too bad. even though there's some people that will disagree with me on that. I've driven in countries with roads way worse than ours. But that aside, there are going to be times when you're going to hit potholes in this country that's going to bottom this van out, and that's unacceptable. You know, it's that's you damage things, you break things. So I've bit the bullet and bought proper set of original ride height diesel springs. So I am going to install these today. Now, one other thing that I've done is also gone along and bought a set of track rod ends. Now, obviously these are not genuine Ford items, but they're not the cheap Chinesium nonsense either. Track rod ends are Quinton Hazel, which is a brand that you'll find in most automotive stores here in the UK. They're not bad, they do some decent stuff. I've used rod ends many times, and I put thousands and thousands of miles on them, always been fine. And the springs are actually from Napa. Yes, we do have Napa in the UK. So the plan is today is I am going to drop the front end, jack the front end up, drop the shocks out and switch these over. Now, reason for the track rod ends. The ones that are on the van are actually very good condition. There's no play in them whatsoever. But there is the possibility that they may end up damaged taking them off. I do actually have a receipt for them somewhere. These were put on the van back in 2007. Now, so you know, they have been they were replaced, and the van did very little mileage after that. But you know what? We've got them. They're not expensive. Let's just do them. You know, I'm going to have the whole front end apart. You do have to take the track rod ends off to drop the springs out on these. It's quite a simple process. I will go through it later, but you you loosen the bottom of the shocks off, you release the skewering clips that hold the brake lines to the shocks, release the track rod ends, and the arms literally bend down and you should be able to just drop the spring out. So that's the theory. It's a long time since I've done these. I mean, it's getting on for 2 years since I put the other springs in, so at that point I did not release the track rod ends. What I did at that time was I battled with spring compressors, as I didn't want to release the track rod ends. And this time round it's like, you know what, let's just do it. Let's just replace them and call it good. Anyway, that's enough of me rabbiting on and standing looking at the van. It's actually, as you can see from my shadow on the van, it's a really nice day today. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is just clean up all the threads on the steering rack. This does have a front anti-roll bar. I thought it didn't, but it does. So I've got to clean up the actual threads on the drop link, see if I can get that off intact. Hopefully I can, because that's going to be a right pain if I can't. And yeah, just take it from there. Oh well, yeah, see, last time I had spring compressors and they were like the finger type, so you could just put them in and it just really compressed the spring down, and I was able to just pop it out there. I didn't have the shock of anything on. Yeah, don't have that with me right now, so let's get to dismantling. Well, there we go, first one out, and as feared, track rod ends are putting up one monstrous fight. Ironically, I thought this didn't have an anti-roll bar. Did I mention that it does? Anyway, it doesn't matter. That came off dead easy. But the thing that I thought was going to be the issue came off easy, but yeah, I wish I had the spring compressor, but I don't. So anyway, the old and new actually don't look that different, do they? They really don't look that different. Just trying to gauge the... yeah. If you can put them side by side, yeah, coil wire is a lot thicker. But yeah, anyway, got one side out. Gonna just slide the spring in, and then I can get it jacked up and get the pressure off the caliper and everything, because it's kind of dangling there, and I don't like it doing that. So anyway, let me get this stuck in, and I'll move to the other side. Yeah, it's been quite a task, this. It's yeah, a ball joint. I might have to bring the oxy over and get some heat on it. Buddy Andy's in town at the moment, so he's picking up another, like the pickle fork ball joint splitter things. The one I've got just isn't cutting it, so I've asked him if he can pick me another one up, so he should be back with that sometime soon. But what I'll do in the meantime is I'll just go ahead and just get this side reassembled, and then I will just do the ball joint at the, well, it is a ball joint, a track rod end. I'll do that at the end. So anyway, let's get on with it. Well, you can see that, but we've got a new spring in there now. It is actually easier doing it this way. Like I said, the last time I did it, I messed about with a compressor, coil spring compressor, and wangling it in and out, and it was a pain in the butt, to be honest. But yeah, doing it this way, if you can get the track rod end off, it's actually an easy way to do it. As you can see, it's just dangling there at the moment. Like I say, when we've got that pickle fork, we should be able to get it done. So I'm going to move on to this side. I'm just moving everything around, and yeah, fingers crossed we should have this done by this afternoon. I mean, I've only been on an hour, so I mean, it's not like this has really been eating up the day or anything, but yeah, anyway, let's get on with it. Wow, you may be noticing that it's foggy. The sun's gone, and that's because it's the following day. Had to run into town, and by the time I got back it was getting on late, and it was like, you know what, let's just pack it up and then come back to this today. So here I am. It's today and I'm here. So I did get that side all done. Got the track rod end still to go on there, but I have got a pickle fork now, a joint splitter. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead, get the spring in on this side, and then I'm going to go get the shock absorbers back in, release both joints, and then get it all bolted back up. So let's get on with it. Oh, kitty cat running by. Anyway, that's her done. Now, I really have not filmed much of this at all, because obviously the forecast's for rain. Well, that's all done, buttoned up. I'm going to give her a quick run around the property here just to see what she's like, but she is sitting higher. The jack is let down now, so obviously there's no, she's not jacked up or anything. That is the height she's going to sit at, give or take a little bit of settlement. But I really have not filmed anything at all this morning. It forecasts rain. It's supposed to be actually raining now, and I just wanted to crack on, get it finished, and get back to working on the wiring. So yeah, I didn't really film anything, but it wasn't too bad. Ball joints were a little bit of a pain to get off, but you know, and again, they were actually in very, very good condition. But you know what? New ones on, you know, it's all. But you know, put new ones on and called it good. And yeah. So there we have it. Once again, my apologies. I know this video is all over the place, doing a bit of interior, doing a bit of plumbing, and now doing springs. But yeah, it's just the place we're at. So yeah, I am actually getting into doing some wiring on the inside now. So that will come next week. Either that or something else on the Jeep, because I'm doing a bit on this, doing a bit on the Jeep, doing a bit on this, bit on the Jeep. When it's raining out here, I'm going in the workshop and working on the Jeep, so it's kind of back and forth. But yeah, there we go. Come back and see me sometime and have a good one.